Hey, what's up guys? Joris Rampen here. Welcome back to another video. I'll just put that here quickly. There we go. So you're probably wondering what you just saw, but you know what? More on that later. So moving on. In this video I want to teach you guys how to tune your saxophone to any other instrument or heard pitch by ear. So no tuner, just your ears. Okay, so enough with the nonsense, let's not make this intro longer than it has to be and start the video. Alright, so first of all, what do I mean when I'm saying tuning your saxophone by ear? Tuning the saxophone by ear means tuning it to another pitch you're hearing while playing the saxophone and then adjusting the mouthpiece position on your neck to tune your horn. This is different from using a tuner because you need to hear by yourself if you're well tuned, or slightly too high or too low, by comparing the pitch you're playing to the one you're hearing. A tuner, on the other hand, would indicate whether you're too high or too low when listening to you play a note based on a comparison between the note you played and the frequency of the note you indicated as a reference. For example, A equals 442 Hz. Now it's very easy to tune your saxophone by using such a tuning device or app on your smartphone or tablet, but it is also important to be able to tune your saxophone by ear, because let's imagine you're in the middle of a concert in an orchestra and you realize you're out of tune. If you can hear immediately whether you're too low or too high, you can adjust that. But if you exclusively rely on a tuner, you're stuck like that, and the best thing you can do is guess a little bit. Another example is when you're playing with pre-tuned instruments like the piano. Here you have to tune by ear because you don't know what the piano has been tuned to, nor whether it still is accurately tuned to that frequency. So the only way to properly tune with a piano is tuning by ear. Alright, I could keep talking about the importance of learning how to tune your sax by ear for the entire duration of the video, but I think you got my point. Let's now move on to how you can do that. I'll show you this example step by step how you can learn to tune your saxophone to this piano right here, for example, and after that I'll show you how you can learn to hear whether you're playing too low or too high by using an incredible exercise, so stay tuned for that one. Alright, step 1 is knowing the note or notes you want to tune on. I recommend picking a concert A, which would be an F sharp on alto and baritone saxophone, and a B on soprano and tenor sax. Step 2. Listen to the piano playing the note for 1 to 2 seconds before playing yourself to internalize the pitch you're hearing and to help you find out faster which way you need to adjust if you have to. Step 3. Listen to the vibrations created by the two notes being played together. If there aren't any vibrations, congrats, you're in tune. If there are, you need to listen to them closely to determine if you're too high or too low, and then adjust by pushing your mouthpiece further onto the cork of your neck if you were too low, which will make the saxophone shorter and thus higher, because the smaller the horn, the higher the pitch. Or pull it back out a little bit to lower the pitch and make the sax longer. Step 4. It is also useful to check certain other notes while the piano is playing the concert A, such as the fifth underneath, which would be a B for alto and bari, and an E on soprano and tenor sax. Other intervals like an octave or a fifth higher are also useful at that time. This will create an interval that might make it easier for you to determine if you're perfectly tuned or not, and how to adjust if you aren't. Now repeat the steps 2 to 4 until you don't hear any vibrations anymore. Alright, so when I heard all this for the first time, I thought, great, but how do I know whether I'm too high or too low? Because I can tell I'm not in tune, but I don't know what to do about it except guessing. Then I got introduced to drones or pedal notes, and this is the exercise I want to share with you guys today. Because as you probably know, it's not always easy to find someone to play with for extended amounts of time, and even less to find someone to practice tuning and intonation with. That's why you can do this exercise all by yourself. The only thing you'll need is a tablet, smartphone, PC, or basically anything with an internet connection like the device you're using right now to watch this video, for example. Then you want to open up YouTube and search for practice drones, and you'll find something like this. Then, instead of using the piano, you can use this to learn to tune to it. I recommend starting with the concert A one like I showed you. And then you can even start experimenting around with different notes and play, for example, the fifths, fourths and octaves around that note. Now, for the concert A drone on alto or baritone sax, these right here are the most interesting notes to practice hearing whether you're too low or too high. As you can see, these basically are all the fifths, fourths and octaves, because these are the perfect intervals. Feel free to extend that list also by including altissimo notes if you feel like it. I also recommend you play purposefully out of tune when doing this exercise from time to time to learn differentiating the way the vibrations sound when you're too low versus how they sound when you're too high. These shouldn't be too hard to differentiate and already much easier than with an instrument like the piano, for example. Now, what makes these drones so great in my opinion is also the fact that you're not only training your ear to recognize too low and too high, but also for the intervals. If you do this exercise and play a fifth above the drone, for example, you can really learn playing that note in tune and not only the notes you tune your saxophone on. So the more you play around with these, the better your ears and intonation will get. And for those of you wondering, in the intro I used an app on my phone called Tanpura, which basically does the same thing but with Indian traditional instruments. It's nice to also have different timbres and instruments for the same note, because listening to these drones for extended periods of time will drive you crazy otherwise. Finally, you can also cheat, and whenever you hear the pitch you want to tune to, play your note, and if it's out of tune, just adjust the pitch with your embouchure or the fingering to find out whether you're too low or too high. For example, if you're tuning a soprano sax and playing a B on it and you hear it isn't quite right, just add the TA key. This will make the pitch of your B instantly higher. Then listen to the vibrations and see if they get better or worse. If they got better, you're too low. If they got worse, you were too high. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. If you did, please make sure to smash that subscribe button because there are many more videos to come, and if you want to improve your sax playing, you definitely don't want to miss out on those. Oh, and if you're struggling with anything regarding the saxophone and you would like me to make a video about it in the future, there's a comment section right underneath the video where you can do just that. Anyway, that's been it for today and I'll see you next Wednesday. Peace!